Yes. Yes, y'all. Welcome to the family room. It's going down. Family room's just getting started. I know a couple of y'all gonna be filling in a little late. It's all good. It's Twitch. We got time. We good? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I'm very excited for our special guest today. I'll announce him in a minute. But if you've been following, you know exactly who it is. I got a new computer, by the way, that I am absolutely not using because I couldn't figure out how to get the sound working. So there's that too. So we're going to get it started, man. Let's get it popping. Because I want to spend some time with the guests. So, little cleanup work real quick, little ad work. Shout out to Chief Botanicals. Make sure you jump in, man. Use that snapbacklive.com/chief and use that snapback code. You can go ahead and get your Chief Botanicals. I got the gummies. Definitely getting a lot of sleep. We'll actually talk to our guest about that too, because I know he he used them and got quite a bit of sleep as well. And also, tonight, we got Vermin, Mikey Mike, and E-Man live on Snapback's Twitch channel, on the crew channel. So you can jump in. You can check us out on Snapback_live. Vermin, Mikey Mike, E-Man. Yeah, that picture is heavy, Stubbs. Shout out to Bud for the artwork. What up, Stubbs, in the chat? So, man, without further ado, at least I'll jump in real quick. Turn the volume down. Like I said, man, make sure you get your Chief. Snapbacklive.com/chief. Matter of fact, hold on real quick. Jay Dizzle, what up? Yo, Stubbs, can you type !Chief in the chat for me? If you don't mind. What up, Remark? I can't even see. I gotta make sure I make that larger. What up to everybody in the chat? Thank you, Stubbs. I appreciate that. That's for your Chief. If y'all ready, we gonna do this. BStang in the place to be. Let's get it in. I will bring on our special guest now, but I gotta make sure I say something about him. I have known this brother for quite a while. In the DJ scene, as an MC, you come across a lot of dope DJs. And really, you come across a lot of good people. I talked to Remark last week. I consider Remark a friend of mine. And this gentleman is exactly the same. Wonderful family. His wife is the springboard for my comedy career. So, so without further ado, we'll bring in my man BStang. Let me unmute the mic real quick. What up, B?
Oh, what up, Trey?
Yo, I want to start off by saying two things about you, and one of them will be in the form of a question. One, you have a wonderful family, man. Your wife Raquel is that's the homie right there. She makes sure to give me courtesy laughs every time I'm making fun of people. And also, it's been about 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Maybe longer, right? And you've aged about a year. So I think you're like a vampire, yo. I feel like you're not aging at all. So
you look good.
Word, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ BStang, all the way from the 805 to the 702. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I am chilling. I'm so blessed and happy to be here. I watch your show every week, and it's such a great show. I love your freestyle. You know, when you rap your tracks, everything about you, man.
Word
so
up.
I am a fan of Trek Life and a good friend as well. Shout out to the chat room, man. All the family tuning in.
What up?
I see all the love.
Good people in the place, man. Yo,
that's what it's about.
Thank y'all for tuning in, for real. All right, man. So let's get it started, man. Because there's a couple things I don't know that I'm real interested in knowing. When I met you around the J Lounge time. I believe that's
Yeah.
The Almost Famous time or pre Almost Famous? What
That
era was
was
that?
almost famous time.
Okay.
We got that going already. Shout out to Cerritos All Stars,
Yes.
EJ
Yeah.
Remark Stubbs, everybody in the building, EJ.
Yeah. I owe them quite a bit. Uh, thank you for the follow. So 805. To me, it's the furthest place in the world. Like I don't even know how anybody could like drive out that far. But what was the DJ scene like back then? I know it from the Mad Lib times and the Loop Pack and groups of that nature. But back when you got started, what was the scene like? Oh, I think your sound went out, dude. We lost you. Yo, somehow we lost you. Hold up. Can y'all hear me over there? I can hear me, but I can't hear you. Sorry. What's happening? Yo. All right, hold up. We having technical difficulties. I apologize. Let me jump out of studio mode. Jump into regular mode. See if it's a mic on my end. All right. Hold on, B. Hold on one sec, man. Y'all give me a sec, man. I'm going to play some music for a second and see if we can work this out real quick. All right, one sec, y'all. Yo, I'm not sure why I'm not getting you anymore, B. It looks like everything's clear on my end. It's definitely going down tonight, Shug. All right, cool. Word up. All right, let me get back to... Make sure y'all hit snapback.com or snapbacklive.com/chief and use the code snapback to make sure you can get your Chief botanicals. Like I said, man, you can make sure you get those CBD gummies. Definitely get some good rest. And also, of course, tonight, Kokia Brothers, Verman, Mikey Mike, and DJ E-Man. For those who do not know, Verman is the first person to put me on the radio. So there you go. All right. Connecting audio. So you are getting levels and I'm not. I apologize for this, y'all. Check. 1, 2. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna kill the whole Zoom meeting altogether and see if I can figure this out. Yeah, it's something on my end, but I'm not sure why it would do that now. Sorry, y'all. We gonna work through it. This is how this works. One, two. All right, let's see. All right, I'm restarted, B. Cool. For now. Let's see. Feel so. One, two. Yo, let us begin by killing comparisons. Our differences are so glaring, it's to the point where it's embarrassing to be in the same class. Y'all act hella scary, all flaming and flaring, emotional and caring. Nope, we not on the same level at all. I'm more better and pure, and y'all never before or after will match my ability to kill it. I'm spitting a tyrant flow to take over your village, cause y'all turn to women. The minute you not winning, stop handling business, start whining and bitching, and there lies the difference. Homie, we not children, I get grown and handle my own without feelings cold, chilling at the top of the pile. So I rock with the Nile and flow, opposite you jocking the style, taking notes straight, jotting it down. There's no stopping me now. I kick the flow to the pocket and smile so supreme. Yeah, I'm here now, and I'll be here later, but you'll be gone then, and I'll be here. Yeah. All right, let's see how this works out. Zoom real quick. All right, B is on. They got you on. Okay, you unmuted. All right, one sec. Silence. Let's get to the interview. It's a bit of a process. Pan the video. Enlarge. I should be able to hear you now, though, if the sound is working. And if you're getting levels and it's on my side, and that's a problem, because it's gonna take me a second to figure that out. All right, let's do this. Let's cancel this. There you go.
Check. Hello.
There you go.
Got me.
Yeah.
Check. Hello.
There you go. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right. Little break in the interview.
Good.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's start with let's go back to where we started.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So 805, what was the scene like when you were rocking in 805, like early on?
So like a lot of our DJ friends, I started when I was like 14, junior high, 1984 to be specific. And back then I remember the DJ that inspired me, his name was HT, Howard Thomas, out in Oxnard. He was on a station called KMix 106.
Okay.
And we were at our junior high dance Blackstock Junior High was my junior high,
Wait, did you say
and
Black Star?
Blackstock.
Black Stock. I was like, wait,
Black,
Black Star Junior High? That's crazy. All right, go ahead.
Blackstock Junior High. Shout out to the 805. So it was crazy because I was super shy. I wasn't trying to talk to girls or nothing. So I was chilling. And so I remember seeing this DJ up on stage, two turntables, 1200s, and I'm not sure what mixer he had, probably a Newmark. And he was busting doubles of Herbie Hancock Rocket. The and I was like, what the hell is he doing? Right? I was amazed. I was like, damn. And I was like, oh man, I want to do that. I want to do that. And of course, back then, equipment was expensive. 1200s were expensive. You know, I was a family of 5. I was the youngest. And, I was like, I told my mom what I wanted to do. And she was, well, how much is this? How much is that? So, of course, started off with one belt-driven Techniques turntable and one of our family turntables, a wooden one.
Word.
And but back then the scene was 80s hip hop. Run DMC. I remember watching Jam Master Jay, trying to mimic what he was doing. LL Cool J had his DJ Cut Creator. So I would try to learn off of these videos I was watching, because I would watch what they're doing and I would try to copy the sound, try to copy the sound, what they were doing. But of course I had my Radio Shack mixer where the fader was hella tight. Like, how is he doing that?
It's all sounds so familiar. It's funny, man, because Remark had mentioned being inspired at like a lunch DJ situation. It almost seems like those are kind of inspirations for a lot of things, because it was one of my inspirations was seeing people like freestyle during the lunchtime sessions at my school or whatever. But okay, so were you doing family gigs at that time? Were you?
Yeah. So my first gig was my brother's wedding, and I can't believe he let me DJ his wedding. I was a 14-year-old kid, not knowing what I was doing, but I did have a collection. I would buy records at the warehouse, Music Plus back then.
Word.
And I was using our home speakers from our family system.
Same.
And my dad, he built me this. My dad built me a DJ booth. But my dad, when he builds and when he cooks, he cooks for an army. So I had this DJ booth that, man, I was like this little kid. I had a DJ booth that could have fit 3 DJs side by side. But we brought that, and it was crazy. House speakers. I had my lamp I used for studying. That was my DJ light. But I think I have a picture. I got to find it of that day. And
please, I
want to post his wedding. I remember specifically playing like Whitney Houston, How Will I Know? Like those were the cuts back then.
Oh, wow.
And people were dancing, and it was real cool. That's how I started doing weddings. My mom dropping me off in our Cadillac. I had all my equipment in the back seat. She would like unload. I would unload. I had my homie Danny. He was DJing too, and we would do these mobile gigs. And it was fun, man. I would probably make like $50, but I'd be like, damn, I want to go buy more records.
Oh my God, it sounds so familiar. But, yo, wait, this was with the belt drive and the family turntable.
Yeah. So I would plan it where I'm gonna do all my mixes on the good turntable, and the belt is just play the song. I'm just gonna play this. Over here is where I'm gonna do my mixing, because I could control this. And
did you learn how to scratch on the belt drive?
Yeah, but there was a lag, so you had to push. After you let it go, you're scratching, then you had to push. Because if you didn't push, it would be like, it would have to catch up, right? And then, of course, like everyone, I was using saran wrap to make it slippery underneath. Yeah. And then I would go to the fabric store and pick up felt. And I would get a record, get a marker, cut this perfect circle, which wasn't perfect, jagged edges and everything. But that's how I'd make my slip mats is just getting felt at the fabric stores.
Yes.
So,
there's a DJ not too far from here, a young kid that's actually starting in my block, and that's one of the first things I told him to do. Yo, get some felt if you need, you know what I'm saying? If you need to make slip mats now,
Yeah, you definitely need them.
It's easy. So you started off like, this is very humble beginnings for a DJ. A lot of DJs have this same experience, like, because equipment was hell of expensive. It wasn't like a cheap This is not a cheap hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
I didn't even ask my mom for like 1,200. I couldn't. I knew we couldn't afford it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
one back then was probably $400, and I'm trying to spend $300 on everything. So I
right.
got one SLB 12, I think it was, the belt driven straight arm techniques.
Yeah.
And then I used the other family turntable, and then asked her to buy me a mixer at Radio Shack. And
Okay.
then I used the speakers. So that's how I got started. And then, like I said, just watching all these videos of what DJs were doing on TV, and I was trying to copy them. I would mimic their routines, you know. Like Jam Master Jay was dope because he had simple scratches, but it was funky, right?
Right.
His
Right.
was always like doo doo doo
Yeah.
doo doo. It was easy to catch along. But then when you started watching like UTFO and Mixmaster Ice, he's like, I'm like, I can't even do that.
all the original stuff, the visuals came from videos.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
transitioning from the early family parties and the early
Yeah.
weddings, when did
Yeah.
we get? What was next? Was it house parties? Did you go straight from those to clubs? What was the next transition?
Okay. So flash forward 1984 to 1994. It was a lot of house parties, and those were just for homies, not getting paid. Just I wanted to rock. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you wanna rock? I'm throwing a house party, right? And so I did that for a couple of years, and then early '90s, I hooked up with my man Paul the Man.
Okay.
He used to rock with Icy Ice and them. I don't know if you remember his name, Paul the Man. I forgot his promotion group back then,
Right.
but I would do gigs with him because we had the same friends, and yeah, he was like, "Oh man, I gotta, you gotta rock with me." We would do a couple house parties in Northridge. We were at Cal State Northridge.
Oh
Shout out
yeah.
to Son.
Shout out to C
And
Sun.
we did house parties. Yeah, UK, United Kingdom. Paul the Man was from UK.
Okay.
Thank you, EJ. And then let me see my notes. I
By the
didn't
way,
get. Uh-huh.
BStang took notes for this interview. For those
Yeah,
that are watching, this is how
yeah.
prepared this man is. So
It's a crazy timeline. I want to try not to miss anything. So, in 1994, I entered my first DJ battle. It was Beat Junkie Represent, and that was very nerve wracking because I was like a nobody coming up, trying to come up, and I was kicking it with my brother Tommy Gunn, who used to manage the Beat Junkies back
okay,
then.
word
He
up.
used to work for Loud Records, and so I would tag along with him to the Beat Junkie shows and all that. And back then, my DJ name was DJ Showtime, right? Because I was a big Lakers fan in the '80s. That's where I grew up. So I was like, I went by DJ Showtime. And
Nice.
I remember the battle was very nerve wracking. It happened at across from USC at one of the hotels there. And I had to battle against, I know Jay Solo was in it, E-Man,
Ooh.
Symphony, Pac-Man from San Diego. A lot of these guys are still DJing, which is
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, yeah.
And the timing was weird because so I battled, I did my thing, and I tried to be funny with it and do a little bit of doubles tricks and stuff. And they ran out of time, but I made the finals, right? Like the semifinals, 4 left, and they had to reschedule and finish it off in Peppers in Artesia. They had to finish the battle there like a week later. So a week later, I went to that, and dude, I made the finals and had to DJ against Pac-Man, San
Okay.
Diego. And I lost. I got second place, but it was very nerve wracking. And I apologize to Symphony because I had to battle her. It was
What?
crazy because like here I am, like nobody trying to come up. All these guys were dope. I appreciate they were all sick DJs, and I did some funny skits, and it was kind of like trash talking,
Yeah.
and but it just happened, and then I might have offended a few people with my routine, but the crowd loved it because it was entertaining.
Word.
And so I made the finals, but I lost to Pac-Man. But that was real cool, just to
Let's
be in a Beat Junkie battle.
let's jump into that because we still could continue through the timeline, but there is a point where entertainment,
Mhm.
you being entertaining actually still lives through to this day and being comedic. So
Yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about the clout that comes after a battle. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of
yeah.
times you do come in as somebody that nobody knows, but if you hold your own and you get to the finals, people start to recognize you. Like, yo, this dude is ill.
Yeah.
So did that lead
Yeah.
to more gigs? Did that lead to what did that battle lead to?
it mainly just led to respect. Like, oh, like what was dope. I remember specifically after the battle, I was nervous, and I was just glad it was over. I was like, I was like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. So nerve wracking. And then I remember Melody coming up to me and he goes, hey man, I was feeling your set,
Word.
you know, and I was like,
Nice.
oh man, that was everything for me, because Melo's like still one of my favorite DJs. He said I was feeling your set,
He's one of the
and I was like,
illest.
oh, thank you, and even like a couple years ago, I saw Repmatic. And I said, I don't know if you remember me, but I used to go by Showtime. And he was like, oh man, you should have kept Showtime. You should have kept Showtime. But then at this point, I had like 3 homies who were named Showtime, and I just went with my
Showtime is a
own.
very Oxnard name, by the way. That is a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
805 level name.
yeah, it is. But back then, I was thinking Lakers, Lakers
Yeah, yeah.
Showtime. So shout out to my boy Showtime in San Diego, and also see Showtime. Nathan had to change his name. He was
Oh
Showtime as
wow,
well, and now
wow.
he's into it. Shout out to those guys.
So where do
But
the so you? This is pretty interesting because you started off belt drive, humble beginning turntables, made your way.
yeah,
This is almost like the movie Juice in a way. Like you gotta make your way up to this battle. So '94
yeah, that was
club
the
gigs start
represent.
jumping off what around 2000, 98.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
2000 is when I got my first bar gig, right?
Okay.
So my homie Josh, DJ Fatal from OC, you might
What
have
up?
met him.
What up, Fatal?
Yep, shout out to Fatal. He was like, hey B, I spin at Santa Monica Broadway Bar and Grill. I don't know if you remember that spot
Yep.
across from the mall.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I spin there on Friday. Come through. Bring a crate of records if you want to rock a set, right? And I've never done a bar gig, and I was like, all right. So I was practicing all week. I was like, 1 hour set, and I was like, okay, hella nervous. Roll up with my crate on a Friday night, first bar gig, just tripping out, looking at the equipment. It's different than what I'm used to using.
Right.
So of course I have a couple of drinks to loosen up. I do my set. I think I did okay. And at the end of the night, he's like, oh, thanks, bro. He's like, hey, you want this gig? And I was like, what?
What?
He offered it to me. He's like, you want this gig? I don't want to do it anymore, So that was kind of a tryout, but he didn't tell me. He just said, come by, rock a set.
Nice.
I did it. And then afterwards, you want this gig? And I was like, of course, I was asked Raquel, Mrs. BStang, hey, should I do it? Hell yeah, do it. So that was my first bar gig every Friday, Broadway Bar and Grill. And then that's the time my homie DJ or Phil Mark, he used to be a DJ in the Bay. He was a promoter, and he was like, hey, I'll help you promote this. So I had a promoter.
Word.
And he was an MC. So I had a promoter / MC, and I was the DJ.
That's dope.
But it was very nerve-wracking doing that also, because we had to bring the people every Friday.
Right. Yeah.
So we would blast it out, blast. And then on our way there, I'd have butterflies. Like, I wonder if people are going to show up.
Oh my God. I have that now, and I'm I have that on Twitch. Like I have to turn the viewers off. I'm like, yo, I don't want to even see how many people showed up for this. Like I don't even. So I totally understand. But making that move from into promoter like so quickly and a Friday night at that.
Yeah,
that had to be pretty great. That had to be like the way that you learned to do the promotion for Almost Famous and later on Snapback, right?
Yeah, it definitely. And then let's see, between that time and like 2005, my homie Phil Mark, he got a connection through Joseph's in Hollywood. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember that. Yep. Shout out to Robert, Joseph's in Hollywood. And they were looking for a Friday night DJ and promoter, and they got us on. And that was my first Hollywood residency, Joseph's on Ivar, right there. Yeah. I was doing that every Friday, and that was fun. It was it was ratchet back then, but it was fun. Okay. And one specific thing I remember is I was outside chilling with my homie, and then a car pulls up. Suge Knight comes out. I was like, should I look at him? Should I look away? Comes up to me. What's up, dog? Yeah, what's up, dog? I pound him, and then I look at my friend, and I was like, damn, dude. I was scared. But it was crazy.
There's 2 Hollywood times, though. Mm-hmm. And you've been through both of them. There's
Yeah.
dress code Hollywood
Yeah.
and non-dress code Hollywood. Like, I feel like the scene entirely changed when Hollywood said you could wear tennis shoes into the clubs.
Yeah.
Because there was just a time when you didn't even go to Hollywood because you couldn't get into anything
No.
if you wasn't dressed a certain
No.
way, right?
That was like Highlands and all that, where you had to
Exactly.
dress up.
So
Yeah.
you hit the scene 2005, like kind of on the
Mm.
curve of post
Yeah.
dress code Hollywood. So you
Yeah.
kind of took off from there, right? Because I remember seeing your name quite a bit. Now I do know that we didn't meet personally, but
Yeah.
I did actually see you around quite a bit. So from there, you
Yeah.
started to just start making moves.
I yeah, my homie Herbie, rest in peace. He I don't know if you remember DMK, Doug Kanagawa,
Yep.
big promoter. So he used to promote for Doug, and he went and asked Doug, "Hey, I got my friend BStang, he's dope. Can you put him on?" And he goes, "Yeah, tell him to come to Zanzibar on Tuesday
Oh
night
wow.
and rock a set." And then so Herbie didn't even tell me till after. He goes, "Hey, I hit up Doug. You're spinning this Tuesday." And I'm like, "What?" He surprises me like that. And I was like, okay. So I'm practicing. And I heard, there's dancers there, B-boys, B-girls. And so I got on and I just did like a 90s dance set, for the B-boys. And they got down and he loved me and he brought me on board. And what's dope about that is I got to rock with Augie
Oh
and my
yeah.
boy RQ. And shout out to D New, all these old school legends. And I was even rocking with Hideo, rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
So
Hideo.
that's
my
how I
guy.
got to rock with those guys, was through Doug, DMK, and Zanzibar. So I was there every Tuesday night. So these were all just referrals,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
looking. People were just like, "Hey, you want to come through?"
That's how the community works, though. That's how the community
Yeah.
works. Like, there's a lot of referrals in the DJ community. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Hideo. I want to make sure that we say that. What up, Chrissy? How you doing?
What's up?
I want to skip ahead. I want to skip ahead.
Okay.
We know the snapback story. I know anybody that's watching kind of knows the snapback story and North
Yeah.
Hollywood, etc. Now we're on Twitch.
Yep.
COVID has kind of forced us through the Instagram thing, and we're on Twitch. And
Okay.
people are putting their spin on things. They're either playing a certain level of unique music, or they're trying to be clever or what have you. And
Yeah.
BStang comes through with the ill overlays and the Bangus bus and 15 different jobs. And I'm like in awe. I'm like, I don't even know how this dude came up with this. So walk us through it, man. Like, is it
man.
planned? How did you come up with all this?
Oh man, it's so crazy. So of course we started on IG. Everyone was rocking their sets and it was dope. There was no green screens on IG. Just simple sets, and I was like, dope, this is fun. And then finally when we thought about, making the transition to Twitch, I saw what people were doing or what you could do, right? And I remember talking to Ice and saying, hey, Twitch is pretty dope. You can do a lot. I said, I think I'm going to start video mixing because I want to keep people's attention.
Right.
They'll see me, but they'll see the video, and Ice loves the video mix. So I'm saying you could have one screen here, you could do this. And he's like, dope. So I did that. I started off doing video mixing, having the video on one side. And then I noticed a lot of DJs were doing that. They started rocking the video mixing. And I was like, dope, okay. And I told Ice, I got to stand out because otherwise I'll get buried with the other DJs, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll get buried because there's so many dope DJs, and how am I going to differentiate myself? Like, how am I going to stand out? So I remember specifically Gene Ho. Shout out to Gene Ho, the Innovator.
Gene, bringing the bears, Gene.
Yep, bringing the bears. He did a green screen test, and he had Star Wars playing in the back, and he was DJing. And I was like, oh man, that's so dope. And I remember seeing DJ Curse. Shout out DJ Curse, do that. He was doing it early on IG. And I was like, man, dude. So I picked up a green screen like right away, and I would call Gene Ho, hey, can you help me get this thing set up? And of course he did. He helps everybody. Shout out to Surreal Soft Star.
Fix it, Gene.
Building. Shout out to Gene, Mr. Suge.
See, it's red cups in the chat for my man BStang. Keep going,
red cups. So picked up the green screen. Started with a few simple things. I would just do one location, and and just leave it at that, and just spin with that one location. But Mrs. BStang knows me, and I I I get cabin fever, and
Right.
so due to the quarantine, I was going crazy because I can't go anywhere. I'm used to going everywhere. I'm used to visiting homies at gigs. I'm used to just going
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
in
Definitely.
general, and here I was having to stay home, right? So I started thinking, man, I'm gonna pick some of my favorite places that I like to go, and I'm gonna set up a green screen. I'm gonna take people there,
That's
right?
dope.
People want to go out. People are missing going out, so I'm gonna take them with me. And so I started doing that, and then I saw that people were starting to laugh and enjoy it. And if you know me, I have like a very dry humor. Like ever since I was a kid, they're stupid, stale jokes, like similar to Bob Saget. You know,
Right.
just dumb, the dumbest jokes. But that's what I think I laugh about. It's just so stupid. I can't believe I said it, but I'm gonna say it, right?
Word.
So it's the puns, like the puns that I love listening to those. So I started testing those out, and people jumped on board. People started saying their dad jokes, and I
Yeah.
like the interaction, bringing them in. Like, hey, you tell me your jokes. I want to hear them.
I think the best thing, or one of, well, let me not say the best thing. I think one of
Mhm,
the ill things about your streams is
mhm.
the interaction in various different ways. It's not one single way. Either people are sending in dad jokes, or they're sending in their pictures so they could be in the pool. You got
Oh
people
yeah.
on the bus with you. It's, you know what I'm saying. You're actually bringing an audience
Um,
onto Twitch with you. It's like, I think that that's a very creative thing. Like,
thank you.
is that
Yeah.
something that, like I said, I
Uh,
like I asked Remark, and I'm going back to the Remark interview because the DJ interviews kind of string together because I like to know where you guys are getting your mindset as you're going
yeah,
into this quarantine and having to change
yeah.
basically how you function as a DJ. Um, like, is any of this playing? Like, were you like, yo, I got to bring people on the bus with me? Or was it like, yo, this would be dope as it was happening? You know what I'm saying?
It was as it happens. I would be doing something, and then in my mind, an idea would click, and it'd be like, oh, I need to do this next time. Or someone would throw out an
Dope.
idea. You need to
Word.
go here. I would take notes. Okay, I'm gonna go there next time. I would take requests, not only song requests, but venue requests. Where you
Right.
want to go? You
Right.
want to go here? You want to go there? So yeah, I mean, I try to interact, and of course, like shout out to DJ Verse, one of the first ones
My
on
man.
Twitch,
My guy.
and he has, he's killing the game. Congrats to him. He just made partner.
Congrats,
You know,
Verse.
so
Verse
yeah,
versus
shout out
that
to
dude,
DJ
yo.
Verse. And I got inspired by him. Like he has his niche. He has the energy and he has that dance cam, and he makes people laugh. And I think what people need now is comic relief,
Sure.
and that's what we're trying to do. And then shout out to my man Switch. He's
Yeah,
doing a
Switch
lot
is
of great
dope.
things with the green screen, and what I like about these guys, and all the DJs out there killing it, is that, okay, yeah, we can have our green screens, our dance cam, our shot videos and all that. It's funny, you have gimmicks, but you still show your love for music and turntablism. You can still flex.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not just doing all these gimmicks, and there it is, guys. You're still showing what you grew up learning and what you love to do.
Yeah.
You're just incorporating the fun part. And that's what I love about it, is that you're still able to do what you do, but you're adding fun and you're interacting with everybody so that everybody has fun with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I think the
So
inclusive nature of it,
mhm.
I won't say that everybody's doing that well, but I think, man, you might be the best at it right now that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's inclusive. Like, people are actually in the pool and seeing
Oh,
themselves in the
yeah, I
streams, and
haven't seen that yet.
that's
Which I don't know how I thought of that. I was just, oh, because I brought in like the twerk dancers and all
yeah,
that. And it was
yeah.
like,
Well,
I
we were
saw it and I
talking
was like,
about doing the federal bar, like
yeah,
having an MC on the
yeah,
federal bar, things of that
I did
nature. I
Long
remember
Beach,
as you
and
started
people were
adding
like,
people. Yeah.
yeah, see, so I had all these strangers dancing in there, and people are like, put me in there. And
Yeah.
then boom, it clicked on my head. All right, I'm gonna get real people in there.
Yeah.
The real, the people who support Snapback, I'm gonna get them in so they can see themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I think, like I said, the viewers are the ones who who give me the ideas. So shout out to the viewers and all the Snapback supporters, you know.
Word.
But yeah, all you guys in there, you guys gotta send me pictures if you haven't already,
Yeah,
so
make
I can get
sure
you in there.
before we bounce, put your email in the chat to make sure that if you guys want to be part of BStang streams, he might put you on the bus with him. He might put you in the
Yeah,
pool. You might be a coworker. You might end up being a
yeah,
coworker messing with B.
yeah,
Is it DJ BStang at Gmail? Is
yeah.
it
At
DJ
gmail.com.
BStang at gmail.com?
Yeah.
Um, you never know. Like I sent BStang a gift, and it's the most
Oh
PO
yeah,
gift
yeah.
of me ever. But he still put it in the stream, so I appreciate that. I'm gonna put you on the spot for a dad joke, but I'm gonna give
Okay.
you a second to think about it.
All right.
While I ask you one more question before we move forward.
Okay.
Um, so you've been around since '84. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I'm very big on culture and understanding, cultural changes. Like I'll give you an example because I actually remarked this question last week without giving him any preface.
Okay.
Comedy and music changed the black community almost entirely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gave a voice and an image to a community of people who were not visually, who just didn't have a large visual presence.
Okay.
Is DJing that presence for the Filipino community?
Yeah. DJing definitely brings the community together. Like there's a big DJ slash Filipino community in the Bay, in LA, in Cerritos. It's just crazy. In Vegas, it's just, you know, I don't know what it is. Like, I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but a couple of my black homies, they always say, you guys are the black Asians. You guys are black. What do you mean? Because we got rhythm. We got rhythm. We could dance. We could DJ. We could scratch. We got rhythm, and that's what they call us. And man, I didn't take offense to it. I'm like, that's dope. I
Word.
like that. I appreciate that. But they call us black Asians, and I'm like, that's cool. And I don't know what we were born with that in our blood, but we love music.
Word.
We love the dance. Some of us love to rap and some of us like the DJ. We're too short for basketball, but
I think DJ
you know
Mikey
what I
Mike
mean?
is a ball player as well. Yo,
Yeah.
Rockefeller, what's going on? I said what's up to Jay, by the way. I wanted to make sure I repeat that. Ab, what up? Yo, that that actually leads me to a thought about you personally. So, DJing can be a cutthroat community thing, but
Yeah.
you don't operate like that. Not like hardly at all. And we're doing a little bit of overtime, y'all, because we had a couple technical issues, technical difficulties, and I want to make sure that we get some info from BStang. So, yo, what makes you operate counter to that cutthroat nature?
Okay. So what I've learned, and I don't know how I learned this, just growing up in general, um, you you don't you help other people first, and you'll get it back. You don't
Right.
try to help yourself always first. Hey, me first, me first. You help other people, and then they're gonna help you back. It just reciprocates, and other
Right.
people are gonna help you and refer you. And I told a short story last night about DJ Verse because he made partner, and he called me in the morning to tell me he was excited, and I was like, oh man, I'm so happy for you. I see you, pushing and this and that. And you know what he says? He's, yeah, B, we got to get you there next. We're gonna get you there next. And
That's
like
yeah.
we're celebrating him, and he's like talking about helping me,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about: is helping other DJs first. Whatever I could do, to help you get yourself a guest set on Snapback or whatever. I want to see you guys shine, and I don't have to worry about me. Like it'll come to me when it's the right time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But if we can do anything to help anybody else out first, and that's how I kind of treat it. It's cutthroat.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, people don't want to share their gigs. Like, oh no, then this and that. But Verse was like, man, he was like telling like Commonwealth. He's the one who got me into Commonwealth. He's like telling the guys, hey man, if you need a DJ, BStang's available.
That's
BStang's
dope.
available.
That's
And then
dope.
I'm in there now. So just that's what I'm saying, man. You help other people and it'll reciprocate.
Word up. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you being on the show. Can we get a
Thanks
dad
for
joke?
having me. What was that?
Can we get a dad joke real quick?
A dad joke. Let's
If y'all got the
see.
dad jokes, man. If y'all got the
What?
BStang dad
Let's
joke
see.
emote, throw that up. I want a good dad joke before we bounce.
On the spot dad joke. I
On the
kind of
spot.
need something to play off of. Let me see. I'm looking in the chat. What up, chat room? Everybody, shout out to Rockefeller. I caught your set today. DJ up. Shout out to Verse. Let me think.
Oh, see, I tried to give you some lead time, man.
No, I know, but my dad jokes are usually puns based off of what's going on. So it's kind of like a freestyle, right? Like how Supernatural.
Yeah,
You give him an item to rap about, and he's gonna rap about it, right?
Yes.
So, well, let me see. I'm gonna recycle.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna recycle the dad joke, one of my favorites. Shout out to my brother Toby, and I've been saying this one the past couple of days, but it's one of my favorites. All right.
All right.
So, I apologize due to the quarantine and the lockdown. I'll be telling inside jokes only.
The drum roll. We need.
Yeah.
Yo, B man. Congratulations on the extension to your family and Miles, man, and much blessings to you and your wife. Thank you for being on the show. We definitely got to have you back for like DJ roundtable discussions that I want to have. And I personally, from me to you, I'm very grateful to know you, and I really appreciate just rocking with you, man. Just being down with you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate it, and everybody tuning in for the interview, all the fam in here. I appreciate you guys too, man. You guys are what makes it happen. We couldn't do all this
Not one
if
drop.
you guys weren't there to support us. So
word up.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Trek.
Word up, man. Thank you, B. For all those in the chat, man, shout out. Make sure that you check out BStang on his stream. It's right there. It's Twitch, DJ BStang. If you want to catch him, you can catch him on Instagram, DJ BStang. And you got to catch the overlays. You got to get on the Bangers bus. You got to hear the dad jokes. You got to kick it, man. So once again, man, I could thank you 1,000 times, but I'm going to thank you one more. Thank you for being on the stream. We're gonna do this again for sure. All right, man?
Appreciate you, bro.
Word up. Peace, dude.
Right. Peace.
Word up. Yo. That was dope, man. In spite of the technical difficulties, it was great to talk to BStang, and it's dope to have y'all on the stream. So we're gonna jump over to Snapback. We're gonna raise Snapback in just a moment. I do gotta pay some bills real quick, as they say. So make sure you go to snapbacklive.com/chief. Use that code Snapback, and you will be able to get a discount on Chief Botanicals. I suggest the gummies, the CBD gummies. They definitely help me out. You know what I'm saying? And also, what we headed to right now, man, in the house party with the Kokia brothers. That's Verman, Mikey Mike, and E-Man. So once again, thank y'all very much. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. We will not have a show next week, but on the 8th, I got an interview I think y'all going to enjoy. With all that being said, man, thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm going to go ahead and play some music while I set this raid up. And let's get it in real quick.